Okay.
sure.
Uh-huh.
This is a good
Okay,
idea.
welcome everyone. This is the kickoff of the Poverty Alleviation Challenge program, and we did this last year for the first time, and we have this video of last year, so we want to show it to you first. So please, Anne, please show the video.
This is a wonderful, wonderful program I really like. At the very beginning, when we invented this program, I actually did not know what exactly going to happen, whether we can attract students, whether the faculty members and other friends from different institutions, whether they would like to work with us. I have no idea. But now I have full confidence here. You can see how passionate our students with their project. They really show their caring about the poverty alleviation. And they really try to think about the solution for helping people reduce the poverty. That's really touched me.
This was a wonderful opportunity to have together Brazilians, Chinese, and Chilean students that are together in this competition.
It's a great initiative to bring together countries like Brazil and China in this kind of innovative exchanges with students.
I think it's very fruitful that we join students from different parts of the world, in this case Chinese and Brazilian students, to address these real and global issues such as poverty is a global issue. So it's very nice to see young people thinking together and trying to find solutions. I think we live in a globalized world which needs more and more collaboration, and starting with the youth is very productive.
This has been a really special opportunity to share ideas about how to solve issues around multidimensional poverty in the Chilean context, as well as also get to know one another.
It's marvelous to see how they define the poverty issue according to their own understanding from very different perspectives. For example, regarding education issue, regarding the aging differences, and even people living in rural areas or in the which was once destroyed by industrial activities.
Because poverty is not the same thing worldwide. Different places face different challenges, so therefore there will be different solutions to those challenges. When we tackle these problems, it is essential that we understand the root causes, because the solutions will be different. So having people from different backgrounds allow us to see these differences, and in this case we're thinking about the Brazilian context, enhancing people-to-people exchanges that we can basically understand each other in a deeper and more meaningful way.
They were really motivated for this competition, and the projects presented were very interesting and from different fields of knowledge. Poverty alleviation from these multiple angles presented by our students, I think it was a really rich result.
It's a very pleasure-free experience, as I could see this morning with the students' presentation. Very interesting on and ideas how to reduce poverty, how to alleviate poverty. I think it's a fantastic experience for the students, and I think there's a great possibility in terms to mobilize this youth talent for innovative solutions in the future to solve this very difficult problem facing the planet.
Here we have today this amazing activity with the university from China, with the students from both universities, and the projects that they show us a couple of minutes ago. They are really interesting. They are trying to improve and to solve some poverty issues all around the world. So I'm really honored to stay here, to be part of the evaluation committee, and I hope all this process can reach the light in a couple of years.
I think that when we do this and gather students from every corner of the world, we can put at the table different perspectives and help each other to actually find meaningful solutions for our realities.
It has been an honor to be able to be the judge, and of course, it was such a hard decision to be able to grade them all, but I really encourage the students to continue to be always thinking about these issues and how to solve them from different perspectives, and have always in mind about the international approach that you can have to things such as poverty alleviation.
Everybody here is exchanging together, learning together with each other, and we will compete in a good way, trying to show our project the best way possible to really make difference.
Well, my research is about dollarization, and I am developing the idea that emerging countries have problems and vulnerabilities to deal with their own economies due to the dependence on dollar. So I see that poverty is deeply vinculated with this, because if a vulnerable economy is dealing with issues, also poor people will get unemployment, less access for opportunities, and also a good infrastructure to develop themselves.
Our program is about how to utilize the foreign investment to build industrial parks in developing countries. Our focus is focused on two examples. One is the Suzhou Industrial Park, and the second is the Indonesia Morowali Industrial Park. Even though that Chile is an OECD country, they are seeing China as a super developed country, because there are a lot of experience that China has made in the past couple of decades. So we need to be proud and be confident about our system, like the political structure, our culture, and our path.
Having a sustainable project is not only about having a good goal, but it's also about thinking of the environment that you're gonna implement this solution in. And if we look at the different proposals from students in Tsinghua as well as Chile, you look that many of them are very grounded in reality.
Their engagement in this global issue will bring more activities and more possibilities to make our life better and to make the world more sustainable.
I hope we can continue and enlarge on these initiatives in the near future, and involve more and more students from other universities as well.
Poverty is a global challenge, but it is also one that we can overcome together. As we look to the future, let us remember that each of you has a role to play in this ongoing dialogue. Solutions we seek are not always straightforward, but they begin with the willingness to listen, learn, and act. Your new ideas, your energy, and your passion are the driving forces that will pave the way for progress.
Now I do have more confidence for continue to doing this, and we want to enlarge the scope of the different kind of institutions in different countries, and we can do it together. I do have full confidence in this.
Well, welcome again, everyone. This is the kickoff of the Poverty Alleviation Challenge Program 2025. And the video we showed just now is the video of the last year. So now I give the floor to Ms. Paula. Paula, please.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this 2025 kickoff. And we'll start with opening remarks from Professor Ana Celia Castro. Professor, please.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I want to give my warmest regard to all of you. And I must say that I am moved by the video. The video showed us the best moments of our competition last year. And I want to thank very much Professor Tao Tao Shen for organizing the competition and be with us all the time. And also to Professor Orlando Gomes, José Orlando Gomes, who is also here. I want to bring some inspirational ideas coming from the T20. And I'm doing this because I was involved in G20, in the T20, which is the group from think tanks. And in the G20 was very important because President Lula and President Xi Jinping signed an MOU with this competition. This was one of the 37 MOUs signed by both presidents. So this became really very important, even in diplomatic matters. So I want to start with this idea of, can you put it larger than this? Maybe I can do it, just a moment. Yes. So I want to introduce these ideas that come from the communiqué of the T20. Communiqué is a document of 68 pages that could be really interesting for giving you ideas to put it in a broader perspective. So the key themes of the competition could be, first of all, the integrated action to link all these aspects of poverty alleviation possibilities. So it's to give, first of all, an integrated action to link social protection, food systems, and healthcare. These are all together in possibilities of poverty alleviation. And of course, the universal access to all these possibilities. The second principle is fiscal justice. So some of the students last year used the economic sense of it. So put in an economics framework dealing with fiscal justice and inclusion, because we have the possibilities also to have progressive fiscal policies, including wealth taxation and inclusive budgeting, and also to address all the issues, taking into account gender inequalities and also ethnic questions. So, and also to give the financial perspective, to use the possibility of engaging financing funds for dealing with poverty alleviation. And the third principle is the global solidarity and innovation. We certainly will not progress without bringing together the innovation issues that are in this perspective, to enter with innovation and presenting the solutions in an innovation perspective that will really help us to solve the problems. The next one. So also, I've not mentioned the data, the role of data, it's important. But then finally, this is actually a call for action. Because when you present the solutions for poverty alleviations, all the specific cases, this is very much a call for action. Because this is not only innovative and in a certain sense innovative, because it is an interaction of different cultures in Latin America and in China, but because we're really building a global movement to young participants to present their ideas, to reduce poverty. So I think this is really extremely important, and this is a kind of call to build a future together, not only a future, but a desirable future that all of us want to live in a better world. Thank you very much. I think
Thank
this
you,
is the
Anna.
last one, no? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot to mention that Professor Ana Célia is the director of the Institute for Advanced Studies at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. Sorry. So now I'll pass it over to Professor Chen Tao Tao, who's the director of Latin American Center of Tsinghua University. Professor, please.
I'll open it. Yeah. Thank you, Paula. Yeah, dear Professor Ana Costa, the director of Institute for Advanced Studies at the Federal University of Rio, and Professor Orlando, the professor and associate dean of international affairs to BRICS country, and also the Federal University of Rio, and dear Paula, and also all my dear young friends from Brazil, and my PhD student from Tsinghua who is here supporting us. Good morning and good evening. Welcome to China Latin American Youth Responding to Global Challenges 2025 Poverty Alleviation Challenge. I'm so happy to see you all here. Excuse me. Yeah, as Anna mentioned, the program was created last year, and it has become one of the achievement projects of the President Lula, President Xi Jinping's official visit to Brazil. And actually, compared with last year, this year we have more partner Latin American universities from more Latin American countries, including Chile, Brazil, and Peru. Actually, for Beijing time, we did another opening for Tsinghua student and Chilean student and Peru student. It's just because the time differences, so we do that again for our Brazilian young friends. Actually, this year also in Tsinghua University, we have more faculty members, more students from more schools and departments directly join us. And also more especially, we actually have invited one of the famous Chinese company called Metal, who has invested in Las Bambas, Peru. And I was told that they have invested in Brazil right now. So welcome everyone once again. The poverty alleviation is clearly a global challenge, and almost every country around the world has tried some way to deal with it. But this program has special meanings. Here I would like to emphasize two of them. One, because of the differences among regions and countries, we believe the experience of poverty alleviation accumulated by different countries has not been efficiently communicated, learned, and transferred to each other. That gap is the key target that we want to fulfill with this program. So you can imagine how wonderful that the world would become if we can really learn from each other, and how many people around the world could be benefited by this type of mutual learning, isn't it? Two, the youth. You actually who are in front of me, even though we're through the screen, okay? The youth, you are the meaning of the program. According to the founding chairman of People's Republic of China, Chairman Mao, the youth is like the sun of 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. The hope is all on you. So actually, we believe with your strength and intelligence, with your caring and enthusiasm, we can see the hope of poverty alleviation improvement in their future. And more than that, we are seeing the hope of having a warmer, a more harmonized, and more promising world of mankind. Actually, I guess at this minute, you might be wondering how we organize and how we do this program. No worry. And my PhD student is gonna explain you clearly later in this opening. But here I actually also want to emphasize 2 points. And since this is the beginning of your journey of this program, I'd like to emphasize 2 things here, right? First of all, actually, this is a real thing. I'm not expecting just an assignment on a piece of paper. We are looking for real solutions for real global challenges. Okay, so do put your effort here. That's the first. The second, please take advantages of international team. The Miss Feng Jian gonna explain this more after my speech. I do encourage you to take advantages of international team. There are 2 ways of thinking I will suggest you here. One, you and your international team member would try to touch and find a true poverty phenomenon, maybe in one country. Okay, so you're gonna try to see the poverty with your own eyes. That's for real, not something that you just imagine. Okay, and then facing the real challenge of the poverty phenomenon, you can search for the solution from your teammate from different country. And that's how you learn and learn the poverty alleviation experience from different country. That's exactly this program want to target. Okay, that's one way you do this program. The other way, the second way I will suggest you to do is that you could try to find a best practice of poverty alleviation from one country first. You can see, oh, this is really a good way to do the poverty alleviation, okay? And then you ask your international team member whether this best practice can be transferred, can solve the relevant poverty phenomena, the poverty challenges in another country. Okay, that's also one of the efficient way to do this program. All right, so here I just the time is limited. I emphasize these 2 thinking clue for you to take it as a reference. Okay, all right. So last but not the least, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to the sponsors of our program, the Envision program from China, Envision Group from China, CGE from Chile, and the Luxi Foundation from Chile. And we will find, all of them, they will support the competition for the whole process, including Brazil, including all of you. We're gonna have them to support you. No worry. So I thank them all, and I know we cannot make this wonderful program without them. So thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chen. Now I pass it over to Professor José Orlando, who is Associate Dean at International Affairs to BRICS countries at WFRJ Polytechnic School. Please, Professor.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here today in the 2nd edition of this competition. It's marvelous experience, not only for us, for the whole team organized this challenge, but especially I could imagine if I would be a student and have the opportunity to work with this kind of initiative and solve this kind of problem, which I call living lab. This is a lab in which we're taking our students to face what we need to solve. It's fantastic. I'm saying that because I'm an engineer. As you know, engineers is not perfect, but I said to Professor Tao Tao in Beijing, February 2024, it's a great, great idea, and we need to put in practice because it's an opportunity for the engineers, especially for our 5,000 engineers to be mobilized to work in a multidisciplinary way. So it's fantastic to see the projects from the last year and the opportunity to have together all the students trying to find the solution. And this year, I think it would be fantastic in the sense to have much more internationalization. We have more country, we have more different perspectives, and the different perspectives certainly can find the best solution. I would like briefly to thank you, Vale, to provide mentors to the mentoring pool. I would like to thank you, Andrea, the manager. I would like to thank you, Vitor, Carla, and I would like to thank you, Sandra, other mentor from University of Campinas. So I think this mentoring, international mentor pool will be fantastic to work with our students. And we will help you along this competition to give you tips, instructions, orientation, and follow you and help in all senses. So it's, as you can see, I'm very excited, and I think I hope to have much more competition in the coming years. So thank you so much for organize this challenge, and I hope to continue to contribute as much as possible. Thank you so much. 谢谢.
Thank you, Professor Orlando. Now let's pass it over to Professor Francisco Galego from, he's the director of the Institute for Sustainable Development of the Pontifical Catholic University of Chile, and he has recorded a video. So please, let's watch him.
Yes, okay, thanks. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. A very warm thank you to all of you for joining us today from different countries. This is my second time in this competition. I am honored to share some ideas, as we launch this year's competition. So first, at UC Chile, at the Catholic University of Chile, we take great pride in addressing significant challenges both inside and outside the classroom. And we try to do this like in a spirit of collaboration. This includes, as we can see today, working with communities, NGOs, public sector, private companies, and through international partnerships like the one we are celebrating today. And we are especially proud and honored to collaborate with Tsinghua University. I'm very happy to, greet, Professor Tao Tao Chen and the team. I in particular, I learned a great deal last year when we participated in the previous edition of the competition. It was, for me at least, a valuable platform, not only for highlighting challenges related to poverty, but also for showcasing like innovative and creative approaches to address them. I think there were like diverse perspectives, and that way this competition reminds us of the importance of collective action and take us one step closer to finding meaningful and lasting solutions to many challenges. The competition, I think, and this is particularly important today in the world, is part of a commitment to tackling global challenges together. In a sense, like the issue of poverty and other issues, but in particular poverty, is an issue which is far too complex and urgent to be addressed in isolation. So collaboration is essential, poverty is very important, like in Latin America, but it's also very important in other places of the world, you know, and in a sense, it's a phenomenon that continues to evolve and change in ways. And I would like to share like a couple of slides to illustrate this for the case of Chile. Let me see whether this works. Just a second. Okay. Okay, here, slides. Can you see my slides? Yes or not? Can you see it? Okay, thanks. So basically, I have just 3 slides to motivate this, you know. So you look at these slides here, like the left one, the one in the left or on the right, you can see decreases in poverty in the blue line for the case of Chile and also for Latin America, like in the last decades, you know, and even with different definitions. But at the same time, and this is good news, you know, but at the same time, if we take like a broader approach to development, for instance, looking at the sustainable development goals, you can see here that actually, if you look at the no poverty goal, we are far from being having solved like the problems. And at the same time, you can see that the red ones are the ones that are very far from the goals that we want to reach, you know, and we have many reds, and some of them are related to poverty with new dimensions of poverty. Some of them are related to the interactions with sustainability and other issues. And this showcases that we face significant challenges that are maybe different than the ones that we had like several decades ago. So for instance, just to motivate, in the case of Chile, here I'm showing that even with very low rates of income and consumption poverty, still today, like close to 1/3 of the employment is in informal employment, what we call informal employment, which is highlights, you know, vulnerabilities, you know, highlights like instability. And this is a challenge that we face. So just to finish, I think we face like new challenges, you know, and in that sense, it's very important, you know, that to have like, you know, this competition, you know, with complex and dynamic problems, and and the competition is important, but it's also very important to have like the very young, creative people that we have today from different countries. So thank you very much. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you like in the upcoming stages of the challenge.
Okay. So this was Professor Francisco. Now let's watch like the last opening speech from Professor José Carlos Feliciano Nishikawa, who's Deputy Director of the Center for China and Asia Pacific Studies at Universidad del Pacífico. Let's watch him.
Distinguished guests and colleagues, good evening, good morning in China. On behalf of the Center for China and Asia Pacific Studies and Universidad del Pacífico here in Peru, we are very honored to participate as a university in the China Latin America Youth Responding to Global Challenge 2025 Poverty Alleviation Challenge. And of course, with the involvement of our students, researchers, and professors. We also would like to congratulate Tsinghua University and of course its Latin American Center led by Professor Chen Tao, as well as our partner universities who are involved in this challenge, Universidad Federal de Rio de Janeiro, Universidad Católica de Chile, and of course, Las Bambas and all the sponsor companies involved in this project. It's important to create global competencies related to social innovation among our students, as well as cultural understanding skills and meaningful connections. So we believe that this challenge will train youth as well as motivate students to apply the knowledge acquired in the classes and help them to get new perspectives and reflect on them. But most important, I think this challenge will contribute to the formation of a new generation of leaders in Latin America that also has knowledge of the challenges of the regions and China. So on behalf of our university, we encourage all the participants to work hard, enjoy the process, and we are sure it will be a great success. Thank you.
Okay, so let's pass to the next session of our kickoff event, which is the program introduction. The Tsinghua, oh yeah, Tsinghua student, PhD student Fang Jiang will introduce the schedule and the rules. Please, Fang, please.
Yeah, thank you, Paula. So I'm going to introduce the schedule first. I'm going to do it very briefly because you see there is a timeline of our challenge program this year. So today, April 11, we're having this kickoff. So basically, we're giving opening speeches, we're introducing the rules and the toolbox, something like that. And then after this kickoff, we're going to have this team formation period until May 15. Yeah, and during this period, during your while you're forming your teams, actually we are also going to organize 2 sessions of lectures. One is held by on April 24, and it is given by Chinese and Chilean poverty alleviation experts. And another lecture will be held on May 8, and it will be given by Chinese and Brazilian experts. And then on May 15, all the participating teams should be finalized. Then after you finalize your team, actually we have this online mentoring session. It will last for about half a month. And we have 2 types of mentors. One is the toolbox mentors, and another is a professional mentor. So we'll have this mentor pool with various with mentors from various fields such as the technology, agriculture, maybe finance, something like that. So you can choose the mentors that is most related to your project. So this is a mentorship session. And then on June 5, you're going to submit your PowerPoint slides, your report, and a text of no less than 2,000 words. And then on June 7th, we're going to hold the preliminary round in Tsinghua, actually. So for those teams who cannot present in Tsinghua onsite, actually, you can send us your video of the presentation, so we can review it. We have this international judge group to review all the participating teams report, and the 12 winning teams will be announced on June 15. So here we have our winning teams, and in mid-August, the Chinese members of those winning teams will have the chance to go to Latin America, whether it's either in Brazil or Chile, and you're going to have this field visit. You're going to have a seminar on poverty alleviation, and also you're going to have the final presentation. And then in December, all the members in the winning teams, the Latin American students, of course, Brazilian students, can have this chance to travel to China to have this China tour for about a week. We're going to organize the field visit and some cultural immersion. So for last year's program, we actually organized the winning teams to one of the China's poverty alleviation bases. So that is the brief timeline for this year's program. And then I'm going to introduce the reward structure. I think this is the part that you may be interested in. So you see here, we have now this year we have hundreds of participants from 4 countries. We have students from China, Brazil, Chile, and Peru, and all of you will compete as teams. And in June, we'll have 12 teams be selected as the winning teams, and 6 of them will have the final round in Brazil, and 6 of them will have the final round in Chile. And in each country, there will be 1 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze. So basically, if you're one of the 12 winning teams, at the worst scenario, you're still going to get a bronze. And for all those 12 winning teams, here are the rewards. So for Brazilian students, if you are in one of the winning teams, you get a chance to travel to China for a study tour in December, and we will pay for the round trip airfare and accommodation. But pay attention, only the gold winning and silver winning teams will get our 100% financial support. The bronze winning teams will get our 90% financial support. So although this it's still a lot of money, but I think for you it's better to even though you're in winning teams, it's better to improve your project and try to get a gold or silver instead of winning a bronze. So, and besides, all participating teams will receive this challenge award, so which is sort of a certificate that you were in this international competition. Okay. So I'll skip this part, and I'll introduce the cross-country team formation. In order to get the ticket to China, the very first thing you should do is to form your teams, right? And we have 2 principles for the team formation. First is that every team should have no more than 5 people. And the second thing is that we're going to give bonus points for those multinational teams. Because you see, we really want to encourage the mutual learning and mutual communication between Chinese and Latin American students. And it will take great effort for you to cooperate online because of the language and the time differences. So we're going to give you the bonus points to encourage you, right? So here's an example of how you can form this international team. Sorry for the illustration because I just showed this photo to the Chinese students earlier, so I didn't change the icons there. So let's say you want to participate in this competition. So you find 2 of your friends to be with you. So now you have 3 people in your team, and they're all Brazilians. And then you have an idea, you want to invite 2 more international teammates. So what you can do is that you fill out this form, which we will give you later, and you writing who you are and what your project is about, and then what kind of international teammates you're expecting. For example, the skills, major, something like that. And then our coordinators in your country and we and the coordinator in your country will help distribute your team information to all other students. And then if someone in another country is interested in your project, he can contact you directly because you will also put your contact information in this form. Okay, so he will contact you directly. So you can do a little bit talk and a little bit communication so that you will see if he is the one that you want. Okay, so if he is, you take him into your team and you form these international teams. So once you have finalized your international team, please make sure you notify us. You let us know so we can register your team profile. So this process is the same for everyone, from every student from our 4 countries. So you can either lead your global team, just as what I said, you can lead your own global team and invite international teammates to join you, or you can join others as their international members. So either you'll be this part or you'll be this part, okay? So that is the process of this cross-country team formation. So I hope I'm clear about this part. Thank you. So maybe I go on to introducing the toolbox. Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, now I'm going to introduce the toolbox. So this is a framework, a framework that we developed to help you to do your analysis and presentation. It's very simple, but you have to follow the basic logic of it. Sorry. You have to follow the basic logic of it to do your presentation, because we need to see very clearly each element of this framework. So it's called 5W1H plus. So the first W is what? What is poverty? So this part is aimed at uncovering the multidimensional nature of poverty. Because you see, when you talk about poverty, a lot of people would think of low income. But actually, poverty is much more than low income. You see, poverty is lack of choices and opportunities to live a dignified, healthy, and creative life. So low income is a kind of poverty, but there are many other types of poverty. For example, the uneven distribution of educational resources. For example, the health problem, both mental health and physical health, they are all types of poverty. So the first thing you should do is to define what kind of poverty that you're going to focus on. This is the what. And then you're going to use this following 3W to describe the poverty. It's who, where, when. You need to map the poverty scenarios from different dimensions. Who is the demographic dimension of poverty. Basically, who are the people affected by poverty, right? Are they illiterates? Are they unskilled workers? Are they disabled people? Are they old people? Something like that. So what's the characteristics of the vulnerable groups? This is the who element. And then where stands for the geographic dimension of poverty. You see, where does your poverty story happen? Does it happen in the remote villages, or resource scarce regions, or ethnic minority areas? Something like that. Does it happen in the desert, or does it happen in Amazon, the rainforest? So that's the locational traits. And then we have when. When is the temporal dimension of poverty. Okay, so the time background of your poverty story, you have to see what is the time background for it. Is it in the natural disaster periods like the post-earthquake Haiti, or is it in the economic transition period or policy shift period like India's 2016 demonetization crisis, something like that. So we talk about the people, the location, the time. All those three key elements will help you sketch out a holistic picture of this poverty scenario. And the picture is in 3 dimensions, right? These analysis, this description will help you get a better understanding of the poverty scenario and lay foundation for the following analysis. So the next W is why. Why poverty persists there, the root causes of poverty. In this part, you need to integrate who, when, and where to uncover the hidden causal chains. Actually, we have a case here, the case of the Mahajina community in Amazon, Brazil. This is the case that we studied last year. And this community is located in remote Amazon rainforest region with a very hot climate and poor infrastructure. Especially the water, the clean water is very hard to get there. And the transportation condition was very bad, so it is very much isolated. And for who, the people living in this community are mostly the descendants of enslaved people with very low level of education. And they, for many, many years, they have been making juice by hand. So it's a very traditional livelihood. And the community was remained very, very poor until 2015. A Chinese company called State Grid discovered this community during one of its environmental assessment for a project. So now we have this description of the poverty scenario. We can think about why poverty persists there. First of all, it has a systematic causes. You see, because of the geographic isolation, the community was excluded from national development plans for decades, right? So there is a lack of policy attention and a lack of resource allocation. Then it also has a context-specific causes because you see, they use this really outdated production method. They made juice by hand. That means it is, which is really inefficient. And the product, the juice, also has severe hygiene issues. So they can't sell the juice to the market and make money. So that's the why. That's why the poverty persists there. So in this part, what we need to do is to integrate the people, the time, and the location to uncover the hidden causal chains. And then after understanding why poverty is there, now you can think about how to solve them, right? There is this how part. And the first thing you should do is to have this core strategy. Because you see, poverty alleviation is indeed a very complicated thing. But behind every successful cases, actually we can see a core strategy. And it should be very contextual and rooted in systematic analysis and drive lasting change. For example, some projects create these sustainable livelihood models. For example, in our last case, the Mahajina community case, it is State Grid who transformed Mahajinia's handmade juice to a factory production. So the efficiency is much higher now, and the product will not have the hygiene problem anymore, and the income was boosted. Okay. And another type of projects, they introduced the new technologies or they designed a new product for the poverty issue. For example, the introduction of the solar drip irrigation system in Kenya helped solve the water scarcity for the farmers there. So these are the two types of the core strategy. But remember, poverty alleviation can never be done by someone alone. So you need to build this multi-actor network for poverty alleviation. And the first thing you should do is to find the leading actors, because those leading actors are always the strategists, the resource integrators, and action coordinators. Sometimes their actions will have profound effect on the entire ecosystem of poverty alleviation. And second, no single leading actor has all the resources required. So they need to find these collaborative partners. And previous experience tells that each, like all institutions may have a role in this poverty alleviation cause. For example, the universities, the governments, the NGOs, the companies, the volunteers even. So you need to find, you need to think about who you're going to reach out for and involve, and what kind of partnership you're going to develop with them. And of course, you need to think about how they are going to collaborate together, how they can make this joint force to overcome poverty. So as Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So that's the basic content of the 5W1H. But then actually we really want to encourage the cross-border transfer of the good poverty alleviation projects. But so here we have 2 tips for you when you're doing this cross-border transfer. The first is that context matters. You see, you have to be very precise in this poverty scenario and the cause. You see, we have talked about the time, the location, the people in a previous analysis, but different countries may have huge differences in all these 3 dimensions, right? So sometimes you may think that it's the same poverty in these 2 countries, but actually it's not. So you need to be very cautious about the differences. But besides the differences, there are also commonalities, right? For example, we all have these shared challenges. The global economic recession and the pandemic affects every country in this world. So these commonalities actually brings the possibilities of cross-border transfer. So what we need to do is to bridge the differences and leverage the commonalities when you are doing this cross-border transfer. So that's the first tip. And the second tip is that you need to adapt to local realities. You see, every country has its own objective conditions. So some poverty alleviation projects may fail in another country, right? You see, in China, for example, in China, we developed this e-commerce model for our poor villagers, so they can sell their vegetables, their products to the market. But this model requires very strong infrastructure, including the transportation infrastructure and the logistics and the internet infrastructure, right? So it can be very hard to transfer this model to some countries with underdeveloped roads, power, and logistics. So the first tip, objective conditions matter. And the second thing is that you may need to redefine the actors' roles when you're doing this cross-border transfer, because the roles and the functions of the various actors may vary significantly from one country to another due to the differences in political, economic, and social structures. You see, in China, we have this very strong government, and it controls so much resources and money. So basically, in China, we have this government-led model. But in overseas countries, such as, for example, in Brazil, you don't have these strong government, but this does not mean that all the Chinese good practice in poverty alleviation cannot be transferred to Brazil, right? You just need to find the right person to do the right thing. You have, maybe it's the big companies, maybe it's the international NGOs. You need to find the right person, the right institutions for doing the right role. So this is what I'm saying. You may need to redefine the actors' roles. So so I think that's basically the introduction of the toolbox, and we have some reference here. We have articles about the toolbox in the English version and some case studies we did last year. So if you're interested, you can look it up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fang. Now let's pass it on to the next session of our event, which is the presentation of some winning cases from last year. The first ones to present will be Fábio Augusto and Marcia Benzacquen, who were one of the winning teams last year's, and they received the prize of receiving the study trip to China. So Fábio and Marcia, could you tell us a little bit about your project and your experience in China? Okay, let's see if they're here. Fábio? Marcia?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good morning. I just don't know if my camera will be enabled. Will it?
Yeah, we don't see you.
A minha câmera. Ah, okay. I see why you don't see me. Can you see me now?
Oh, I still don't. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we're fine.
I see myself. So I will talk for maybe 2 minutes. May I?
Yes, please.
Okay, so good morning, and thank you all so very, very much for this moment, for this opportunity. It is maybe the greatest pleasure to be able to share a little bit of our experience. We had the most wonderful, enlightening and brightening experience last year. It was very unexpected. It was a horizon widening for all of us. Well, our project last year was based on a personal experience of Fábio, which is my partner. He's going to talk right after me. He worked as a volunteer in a community garden, vegetable garden cultivation in one of Brazil's communities, favelas, for almost a year, for over a year. And he made his graduation project on this volunteer project. And we thought it was a very good ground for showing maybe other competitors and also Qinghai and the world that what kind of poverty we have in particular, very particular communities here in Rio, and a very hands-on way of changing realities. So Fábio will talk a little bit more about this. And we had the wonderful opportunity of sharing our ideas and debating and getting mentorship and having people from different countries, China, Russia, Germany, Chile, share our experiences. And then the surprise of going to China and being so well received and so warmly accommodated, and I can't transform this into words. It was a very visceral experience. We had a very intense 7 days change. It was around the clock, getting to know new people and understanding new realities and being able to convey what we have in Brazil and make our realities known and know new realities as well. So collaboration was the key issue. And I think this is basically the idea of working together, working internationally, trying to understand, trying to bridge differences. And so I think this is the real challenge, So thank you so very much for this moment, and I get emotional. And so thank you so much for everything. 谢谢. Gracias. Chao.
Thank you, Marcia. Fabio?
Did you hear me well? My phone is
Yes,
not
yes, yes, yes.
good, but thank you, Marcia. Miss you so much. Paula, how are you doing? That's like first tell everybody here like I was working as volunteering in a project in Morro dos Prazeres, is a community in Rio. Working hard every day, different work, but the competition in was very important. It's nice to say because sometimes you are working every day and you don't see the result. And I have to say thank you the people from Tsinghua and Chile, China, because it motivated a lot the project, it motivated the people in there to to write a paper to make this possible. And after the opportunity to go to China was a little unbelievable. I just enjoyed every second of this experience, and I learned a lot from all the teachers, all the students, all the friends I made. I want to say I feel very happy about to do something about the solutions to poverty alleviation. This project have a lot of infinite potential and make countries like Chile, Brazil, Peru connected between solutions to poverty alleviation. Sounds amazing, sounds fantastic. And I was working in a project about gardening, about environment and food insecurity solution, and then I was able to share what we are doing there in Morro dos Prazeres to other people from other countries. It's like it was really fantastic, and I totally can say I learned a lot from this experience. And about the China, I'm looking for a goal again. Tell me how can you help me to go again? And this year, a new season, 2025, very special year. We can continue working in great projects to poverty alleviation, international cooperation, and education. We we need to smile and be very decided to work in this way. And then my pleasure to be here talking about this.
Okay, thank you, Fabio. Thank you. So now we're gonna have a speech from Vitor Moura, who was also one of the winning teams from last year. Please, Vitor.
Hi, hello everybody. Can you guys hear me? Yes, amazing. So thank you so much for the invitation. I take the opportunity also to thank Professor Orlando, Professor Chantal for the invitation to share this amazing experience that was joining the TMPE, the Poverty Alleviation campaign last year. Well, my group basically is from the Golden Bridge project. We had the opportunity also to go to Rio. I'm also Brazilian, so it makes it a little bit easier. But I just want to share a little bit about the project and then, of course, how this process worked for us. I think our project was about promoting some projects to better capacitate and train the Brazilian workforce and to open up new job opportunities for them, following an example that is already happening efforts China is already doing in other countries along the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, especially Indonesia. So we took that project as an example and try to bridge and bring it over to the Brazilian reality. And that basically was our proposal. We were lucky enough to win in our category, which was a very pleasant surprise. And then later we also had the opportunity to go to Rio, which I am not from Rio, I'm from Sao Paulo, but even then it was a very, very pleasant experience. All I want to share is, like, I can see we have over 40 people in this room, so this makes me very, very happy. I just want to actually say that this interchange of information and interactions and this sort of projects we're seeing here from China to Brazil, also from Chile, and all these interactions, they are super, super valuable, as our two colleagues had the opportunity to come to China. It's just a personal statement. I'm Brazil, I've been in China for almost 10 years, and I wish more Brazilians could come and also see that. And projects like this open this opportunity. They are this bridge. So I would just encourage all of my fellow Brazilian students to, as you say in Chinese, 加油, right? So like, do your best, because it is a very good opportunity. I wish when you come, if you have not only chance to come here, but to address this big challenge that is poverty alleviation in Brazil. China has a lot to contribute, not just, and this Fanzina already talked about it, which is like not by copy paste what happened in China directly to Brazil. It's about understanding, learning, and adapting. Brazil has a very specific reality. Poverty in the city of Rio is different from poverty from the Amazon region, from the northeast of Brazil, from Sao Paulo. So there's different realities within the same country. So does China. Poverty alleviation in Beijing is very different from Guizhou or Xinjiang or whatever other parts of the country. So this adaptability is actually one that needs to be conserved and preserved. So I wish all of you best of luck. It's an amazing experience. You can make some solid contribution. And again, if you do well enough, you have the chance to get on a flight and cross the world and open your eyes to something much bigger. So thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you, Vitor. Yeah, so now we move on to our final session, which is a Q&A from people here in our audience. I also would like to add that we will be launching a website with all the information from the event very soon. So we are preparing this website and will be available soon. We will share the link with all of you who have registered. But please, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Anybody? Yeah. Well, you can also, if you don't have any questions now, you can write us and we can answer them by email as well. Okay, here we have a couple of questions that have arrived.
There is a question here. Only Brazilian students from, no, of course not. No, and you have really to understand that you must form, there is a question in the chat, that you must form a team together with other students coming from China, Chile, and Peru. So the teams must be international. So you really have to realize this. This is extremely important. This is the one of the main objectives of the competition, to form international teams to work together and to address different poverty alleviation projects, but all together. So this is extremely important. So it's not only for Federal University of Rio de Janeiro students. Please take this into account.
Anna, there is a question here. Only Brazilian students from UFRJ. I think it can be other.
No, yes, I'm taking care of this. There is another one. Well, News 7, just a question. I wonder how many time you will have to dedicate to the work in the project. So it's kind of a month, no? You have you know how to answer this better than me. How many time?
Okay.
How will assess future students, our participants, so we can reach other students? Yesterday, this is important. Yesterday, in the kickoff in China, in Beijing, several students coming from Peru send their phone numbers. So I ask you to collect all the information in the chat of yesterday to send to Paula and also to Danielle, who is sending the messages to the Brazilians, so they can really have this information. There are
No,
several
it's
groups
going to
trying
be,
to be formed.
yes, it's going to be through the website. Where all the information will be
No,
there.
it's true.
So yes,
It's
you
true,
have
but
a form. There is a form that you need to fill in. So if you want to join an international team or to invite someone, you have to fill up this form, which will be available in our website very soon. So all the instructions will be there.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Carolina has also a question, important question. Do you have to suggest a project necessarily, or it's possible to choose from another participant's projects? And how do we contact each other?
Yeah,
So
both
this is
cases are
also
possible. Yeah, this
yeah.
both cases
But
are
of course,
possible. You can suggest your project and invite international students to participate on it, or you can join some other international teams project. So that you can do either way.
yeah, or
Okay.
propose a project to international teams. No, it's also the same kind of solution, no?
Okay, so
Hi,
yeah,
good morning. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
yes.
Yes, yes,
Hi.
Michaela, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Actually, I have a few questions. If I have like more than one idea or one suggestion, is it possible to fulfill like this form several times, or can I just like choose one group and stay only with this group? If I have like more than one idea, should I get in a group before and just we choose which idea we want to fulfill in the form, or is it possible to fulfill like say other things and wait for it to fulfill a huge group? Did you understand my question?
Yes, I think you should pick the best idea you have to propose. You know, I think just talk up with other participants, with if you have other Brazilian participants, and then you choose one idea to propose, and then you invite international participants. I think it would be easier to concentrate on one good project, you know, because your final objective is to win, and then you'd have more chances if you know, focus on one good idea.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was thinking because like maybe I have one idea, but maybe I like it like other ideas, and I prefer to change it to join a group rather than staying with my ideas. So that was my question.
Oh, you want to? Oh,
But
well,
Is it possible
that
to change?
Paula, that's
yes.
possible. That's possible because somebody will fill the form, will put the ideas, and we will share. They can change people and build up the team, and they can discuss and fix and say, okay, let's go with this topic. This is possible.
Okay, yeah, because in the end you probably will have only one project, you know, submitted, you know, competition, but you can discuss it previously. Yeah, okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Who wants to talk? Yeah, please. You are going to add something? Please. You have to open your mouth. Yeah.
Anna, just to make sure, we in this question, it's clear that other students than UFRJ can participate. Just make clear other universities, okay?
Yes.
There is another question. When we will be able to start forming our groups and connecting foreign students to choose our projects? Then, when will this form be available?
As soon as the website is on, which is going to be soon. Yeah. We will tell you, we'll send you the link for the website whenever it's finalized, we'll send you the link to access the website.
Okay. This season, I have a project, Fábio Augusto, proposal that is very different from last year. I would like to participate in a larger and more diverse group. It turned out that in the last one were only 2 people. Fábio, of course, you should really participate this year. So make all the connections you can do it, and then propose another project. No, this is very welcome. It's mandatory for everyone in the group to speak English fluently, or we can use technology to help us. Yes, you can use technology to help you, but all the proposals are in English, of course.
Yeah, and
It's
the
our common
presentation
language.
and the presentation must be in English because the judges are going to be international judges, so not only Brazilians. So yeah, you English, at least one of the participants or you should speak good English to present the project.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I think this is good for now. I will pass it
Any
now
other
to
questions, please? I'm sorry, any other questions?
Is it a last one?
Hello.
We have a
There
last
is
one
another
here.
one.
Yeah, the last
Yeah,
one.
from
Can you
Carolina.
hear
The last
me?
one,
It
yes.
is possible to recruit participants for a project based on the profile and experience. Will their information be available for everyone? Yes. I mean, yes. On the
Yes, we'll
profile and
have it on,
experience,
yeah,
yes.
yes. And what is the minimum or
What
maximum
is
number of required per group? Minimum of 2 and maximum of 5 people, okay? So those were the last questions. Now I'll pass it over to Professor Ana Célia for her closing remarks.
We have last somebody raise the hand.
Yes. Yeah, hello. Good morning.
Yes, Ana
Sorry,
Laura.
I'm sorry, I think you couldn't hear me earlier, but I still have a question. If it's possible, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Okay. So someone asked on the chat about the time we will be dedicating, yeah? And I still have the same question, but it's more like for a week or for the day. How many hours do I have to dedicate myself in this project?
It's hard to say. I
Yeah,
mean,
because it will depend
you have
on the division of
go ahead,
work. Yeah, I think it would be depend on the division of work among your group members. You know, if you have 5 people working on the same project, then you know it's different from if you're only 2 people. So I'm just it depends on the work division among the group. So it can vary.
So there isn't any time you ask us for dedicating ourselves.
No,
I got it.
no.
Let me
don't control it.
try to answer this question, okay? One, actually, we provide some lectures that could help you to understand the poverty alleviation, and you could choose to listen to it or not, okay? But we provide that, all right? And also we provide the tools like 5W1H. We actually asked our student to actually you can choose to take the advice from my PhD students so that you can understand better. And also you can just now you listen to Professor Orlando. We also try to invite the professional expert who can help you to make your solution more practical. So those are the things that you can choose to take, but I will encourage you to take them, all right? And after that, you're gonna work with your team members, right? Sometimes maybe you are not familiar with the poverty alleviation, the poverty phenomena that you recognize, but that's depend on how much you want to do it, okay? If you really care about that poverty challenge, and you devote yourself to it, okay? Even though maybe you do not have enough time for this, but you can, let's say your solution is not good enough, not mature enough for this time, for 2025 competition. But if you really want to work on it, you can continue to work on it next year. Okay, so that's it. According to my idea, it's like how much you want to devote to the type of poverty phenomenon that you really want to target. Okay, so it's all depend on you. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank
Now
you.
let's have our closing remarks by Professor Ana Célia Castro. Please, Professor.
Yeah, thank you, Tao Tao. You really did some final works as well. So thank you. I'm really excited to say that the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro is honored to work together with Tsinghua University, the Universidad Católica de Chile, and Peruvian universities in the new round of poverty alleviation competition. Of course, the projects to poverty alleviation are the main objective of this competition. But as important as that is the brilliant experience of working together and to have this experience of creating projects and suggesting projects together to increase the hope of a better world. So this is the main objective of the competition. So let's work together. Please form your groups, form your teams, and you will have all the information, all the necessary information to really do a great job. Thank you very much for all of you, and I hope that we'll have great experience in this new round of competition. Thank you. Thank all of you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so now let's take a photo together.
Okay.
If you could all
Yes,
open your
sure.
cameras, and we'll take a photo, final photo.
Okay. So we have to take the presentation to share, to
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
sharing everything, and then to have the better photo. Yes, excellent, thanks. Please open your cameras. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, just a few seconds more, please. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you
Great,
so
great.
much.
Thank you.
So, thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Zai Chen.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Gracias.
Bye. Thank you. Good to see all of
Adios.
you. Thank you.
Bye, Orlando. Hola, bye-bye.